What's up, guys? It's Rob here, and today we're going to be doing a market overview. We're going to be talking about all the potential market catalysts that are going on today, where the S&P is going, where some hot stocks such as BBIG and CEI are going, as well as what's going on with crypto, right? Bitcoin is on the move. It's nearing its all-time highs, and Shiba Inu coin as well as Bitcoin are presenting some very interesting patterns. So we're going to take a look at all of that, and we're going to start by looking at a chart of the S&P just to explain what's been going on over the past couple of days. We have been trending up beautifully. You can see that all the way from the left side of this chart to where we are currently, it's basically just been a straight line up. We've had beautiful after hours of pre-market and even trading in the actual trading hours, right? So S&P is looking great. We've just been moving up and up and up, and you can see that broken down by sector, right? You can see tech is doing good, communication services is great, financial is amazing, healthcare is great, industrials are doing awesome, and the only companies that even look red to me that are any significance, right, are Facebook and Microsoft. They're not even down that much. Facebook's down about 1%, Microsoft down about 0.5%. So overall, the markets are very green. You can see a lot of good action in the markets, and this is because stocks are jumping after retail sales top estimates. And if we actually take a look at the retail sales numbers, you can see that they are fairly good, right? That we were forecast to have a decrease of 0.2% in retail sales, and instead we had an increase of 0.7%. So it is no surprise that we are doing very well in the market. And just for those of you who don't know, retail sales measures the change in total volume of sales at the retail level, right? That's kind of self-explanatory in the name, but it is the foremost indicator of consumer spending, which accounts for the majority of overall economic activity. So basically, people are out spending more money, and businesses are thus collecting more profit. That's a good thing for the markets. That's why the markets are moving up today, right? This report came out around 8:30. You can actually see that around 8:30 right here, we started having a massive jump up, and I've just been kind of continuing that trend. Not that we weren't ever moving upwards in a general uptrend, but just continued the pattern and strengthened us, right? If we actually had a bad retail sales numbers coming out, then we could have potentially seen a bit of a reversal here, right? But that wasn't the case. So what else is going on? First, I'll talk about crypto, and then I'll get to BBIG and CEI, two really hot stocks today. But there is something very interesting that I've noticed about Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin is currently just now trading over $60,000 per coin, and we are nearing all-time highs for the coin. Now, the absolute highest that we've gotten is 63,000. However, there is a very interesting pattern that I've noticed with Bitcoin and something that happened with it before it crashed with Dogecoin, right? If you look at the date of its last, high that it made, it was about 5/7. So May 7th, it made that high. Maybe May 10th or something is, it's kind of still high, but it ended up crashing around May 10th. So if you actually look at Dogecoin when it was pumping up, it was around May 7th, and it really ended up dipping quite a bit through the 10th and tried to rebound, ended up crashing fairly significantly, right? We lost the majority of its value over the next couple of weeks. And what it's very interesting is that basically the peak of Dogecoin coincided perfectly with one of the last peaks of Bitcoin, right? It was trying to rebound over these last couple of weeks, and it was unable to, and ended up crashing likely in sympathy with Dogecoin's crash, right? Way back when, if you guys remember that, when Dogecoin was pumping. Well, now a very similar thing is happening, and it's very scary, actually, for me to look at this chart and see that we are nearing these all-time highs, which could likely act as a resistance level for Bitcoin. It's very possible that we will get bounced off of these. Now, the alternative argument is that, we'll break through these resistance levels, we'll just smash through all-time highs and start making new all-time highs. But what's very scary to me is that there is another meme coin very similar to Dogecoin. It's Shiba Inu coin, which I'm sure you guys have heard of, which is currently, very close to its all-time highs. It recently spiked up a ton and has since been falling a little bit, right? We've, over the past day or so, if you actually look, let's go to a slightly more condensed chart, you can see that just yesterday, 10/14, October 14th, we started falling a little bit, and we've continued that pattern today. Now, obviously, Shiba Inu coin has not yet gotten as large as Dogecoin, right? Its market cap is still much smaller than Dogecoin. It only has a $10 billion market cap. Dogecoin's market cap, even after this massive crash, is still $30 billion. Now, Bitcoin, however, is nearing these all-time highs, and it could be that this is an inflection point where not necessarily we crash down massively, but if a ton of people are fleeing out of Shiba Inu coin and this does end up crashing a lot, then there is the potential that we'll see a similar pattern to what we saw when Dogecoin crashed, right? When Dogecoin was at its all-time highs on 5/7, Bitcoin was doing rather well at 5/7 right here. It was actually, a peak for Bitcoin as well. It wasn't the all-time high for Bitcoin, but it was a peak before it ended up crashing. So it's very possible that we could see a similar pattern. Obviously, I don't think that, this Dogecoin crash was rather significant. And the Shiba Inu coin crash, if it does happen, it's a couple billion off the overall market cap of cryptocurrencies, but it's not nearly as significant as Dogecoin was, at least not yet, right? It could obviously rebound. I'm not saying that Shiba Inu coin is going to crash, but if it does, then that could be bad news for Bitcoin, right? Because as more people start to flee out of cryptocurrencies, and if a cryptocurrency that so many people have gotten invested in does go down by a massive amount, right? You see massive volume on this volume chart. Then it's very possible that some people are going to get wary of cryptocurrencies to start selling even their Bitcoin, and the traders might end up exacerbating that pattern and start sending Bitcoin down. It's very possible. I don't want to talk, too much about cryptocurrencies. This is more of a stocks channel, but I know that some people are interested in these, so I will mention it. That's just a potential theory that I have. It's not guaranteed, and I wouldn't even, I'm still holding my Bitcoin. I'm still holding my Ethereum. I'm not expecting this to happen, but it is a potential situation that could occur, and I just want people to be aware of that, right? If you're thinking of buying into the hype. Now, the next things that we're going to talk about, BBIG is up fairly well today, right? We have actually just recently seen a little bit of a dip, and this is kind of centered around this 870 level. Now, I will explain what's gone on with BBIG first, right? So basically what happened yesterday was great news from the shareholder meeting, and the potential for a gamma squeeze really pumped this thing up because, as we discussed in yesterday's video on BBIG, this stock has a lot of potential due to the open interest call options that could be executed on it and that are expiring today, October 15th. So if we want these call options to expire in the money, then obviously this stock was going to have to get pumped up quite a bit. And there's still very many call options that could be getting executed, right? That could be expiring in the money if this thing continues to pump up. It's always possible that it will continue to pump up a lot more. We've only been trading for about an hour today, and we've already seen some massive upwards pressure, right? We're still up about 3% on the day. So good news for BBIG, right? Obviously, a lot of shorts are getting nervous. The shorts don't like seeing BBIG up so much when all of these open interest call options just yesterday were out of the money. Now they're in the money, and shorts are starting to get worried, especially institutions that have sold these call options likely naked. And there are still very many open interest call options for a lot of other strike prices that, if we do continue to pump up, would become in the money and would likely contribute to the continued buying pressure for this stock. And that could really send this thing soaring, especially today, because the time limit is the end of today, right? If this thing is not up by the end of today, then all of those options are expiring. All the ones that are out of the money are expiring worthless, and a lot of people would be down on money. Institutions would be happy about that. But vice versa, if this thing does end up pumping up, then all of those institutions have to cover very quickly because those call options are expiring today. So it'll be very interesting to see the war between retail and institutions play out over the course of the day. But currently, you can see we are bouncing off of this 870 level, which we had formed a couple of weeks ago, back when it was initially crashing. It ended up being a resistance for us. It is acting as a resistance again. We tried bumping above it earlier and got bounced off. Then we tried holding above it, and we couldn't quite do that. Just now, we ended up subsiding below. We're going to see what happens with this 870 level, but it is very important to note that BBIG is... I got rid of the Ortex data, but I will pull it back up. That BBIG is very heavily shorted, and we're about to look at that right here. You can see that they have about a 25% short interest, and shorts have just perpetually been adding to their positions in this stock, right? They've just been pushing the short interest up and up and up, and it's likely that they'll try to continue doing that today, maybe near market close, right? Because these options that have been sold really only need to be covered if the price ends up being above the strike prices that they've been sold for. And it's very possible that institutions near the end of the day will try pushing this thing down and slamming it down. Maybe they're trying to hold it down below 870 right now because that's an obvious resistance level. And then near the end of the day, they may try shooting it down just with shorts because still 25% is not the highest short interest as a percentage of the free float that we've seen. There's always the potential that this will just increase a lot over the course of the day, especially near the end of the day when retail traders might think that they've won, when they think that, their call options are all in the money. It may be that this thing gets shot down. We'll have to see what happens with it. Institutions are not afraid to manipulate these stocks in that way. So the next stock, CEI, we're going to talk about this very briefly. You can see, obviously, we've had a massive green day today, right? Up 10%. We've rebounded into this zone, $1.40 to $1.80, this $1.40 to $1.80 zone that we've been trading in for the past while, right? We ended up dipping below just yesterday. but we have now returned to it. If you look, you can see that we have been trading in this zone for a while. Ever since this big crash, it actually formed itself as a zone right here. And then we tried breaking below, returned to it, tried breaking above, returned to it. Now we've tried breaking below and are returning to it once again. So it's very interesting to see the war between CEI hodlers and the institutions shorting this thing. So we'll have to keep a close eye on that. But that's all I wanted to talk about with CEI. Those are some interesting plays to look at, guys. Now, other than that, have a great day. Hopefully this was a good market overview for you guys and it gave you some interesting trading ideas. Obviously, none of this is financial advice. But other than that, guys, have a great day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.